Hey everyone, it's Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back. Sunday morning, early on Sunday morning. I've just woken up, so the hat is to cover the bed hair, but I'm just desperate to talk about Norwich City at the moment. This smile hasn't left my face since 5:15 yesterday, when that full-time whistle went on Norwich City's first win back in the Championship in our first game of the season. It was a 1-0 victory over Huddersfield Town. It was hard fought, it was scrappy at times, but at the end of the day, there are going to be plenty of them games this season, and champions are defined often by getting wins out of performances that maybe sometimes don't merit that. It was an important win. I mean, leading up to the game, we had previews with Michael Bailey and opposition fans, and throughout all of them, me and Chris were both saying there are no excuses for this Norwich City side this season. We are going into a season with great expectation. That hasn't been the case under Daniel Farke and Stuart Webber before. And unlike past campaigns with Norwich City, we're going into it off the back of really strange times and 12 straight defeats. Now, whatever you say about the morale around the dressing room being good, and I'm sure it is, and Michael said it himself when he was out in Germany, the mood around the place was one of positivity, which is great. But that still doesn't mean that they've got in the back of their minds that they've lost games on a very regular basis over a prolonged period of time. Our last win was in February. It's so important to get a winning feeling back around the place. You could see on them guys' faces almost relief when Alameda tapped in yesterday. So it was a massively important game. I think it was the ideal fixture for Norwich City to start life back in the Championship against the Huddersfield side, who are going through somewhat of a transitional phase. They've sacked the Cowley brothers, and Carlos Corberán comes in there, who was Marcelo Bielsa's number 2, lacking first, team Championship managerial experience at the helm. Their main man was out. It just was set up for a Norwich City win, really. And that's exactly what we did. We had to do a job. I thought Huddersfield were better than I expected. They were well drilled, and until that mistake from Stearman to allow Pukki through, they were really solid and created chances as well. There were moments of, thinking, oh my goodness, they might score here. And especially in that first half, there were points when we were shaky. It took us a good 20 minutes to kind of settle to life back in the Championship, a different style of football, a different pace about the game. Of course, new players in that team as well. Ollie Skip, Javi Quintilla, just to name a few. So we are going through somewhat of a transition as well. But unlike Huddersfield, we have to start quickly. We're the favourites with the bookmakers. We're the favourites with a lot of pundits. And I know that doesn't really mean much, but we are favourites for a reason. A big squad. It's never been more important to boast a big squad in the Championship, and we've got that. We've got a big wage bill in Championship terms. We have got players of quality. We still have Max Aarons, Todd Cantwell, Emi Buendia, Ben Godfrey, Tim Krul. These are all seasoned Championship players who've been there and done it before. Teemu Pukki, we've got up front. He scored 30 times the last time he was in the Championship. So incredibly important for Norwich City, and we're going into 3 fixtures now that pose somewhat more of a threat. In Preston, who I would have thought will be in and around the playoffs this season. In Bournemouth, who still have quality, having come down from the Premier League. And Derby County, who, yes, they lost to Reading on the opening day, but they know what it's all about in the Championship. So, at a big month coming up for Norwich City, so it was crucial that we got off to a winning start. I thought the team selection was pretty much spot on. Javi Quintilla put in a really good performance, which I was pleased about. And finally, someone that can beat the first man from a corner. If he does nothing else this season, the 90 minutes of joy I had from watching a player deliver crosses into the box without hitting the first man was well worth his transfer fee alone. So that was absolutely brilliant. A clean sheet is so satisfying. Max Aarons, of course, we know all about him. Zimmerman next to Godfrey. It's going to be fascinating to see what that centre-back partnership looks throughout this season. Will Tim Close come in? Of course, we've got Ben Gibson that we've paid a significant amount of money to have his services for. So might he come back in? You've got Grant Hanley, the captain. who I know is injured at the moment, but we've got centre-back depth now, and that's really important. Javi Quintilla starting over Sam McCallum, that's really good. Good that we've got backup over Jamal Lewis. But for me, I said it on the podcast, my big performance yesterday was from Ollie Skipp. I think it was so important that we strengthened in that area of the pitch, and we've got Ollie Skipp in, a really, really good player. There were moments in that game when Huddersfield were looking to break. He dives in, makes a really important challenge, and that then doesn't amount to anything. And I think people sometimes gloss over them moments because it's not a last-ditch challenge, or it's not a goal, or it's not a really great goal line clearance. But them moments of magic to break up play are just as important. You just sometimes forget about them because they're in the middle of the pitch. So absolutely brilliant. We've of course still got Emi Buendia to come back into the side. He's suspended at the moment, so that's another bit of quality to add in there. It's nice to have that winning feeling back. I know that we've gone through lockdown and COVID, and of course fans aren't still in the stadium, but I think my amount of joy that I got from yesterday was the same as it would have been as if I was there at the moment anyway. I mean, it's not the same, but we haven't felt a win for so long, so long. So just to get that winning feeling back around the place is brilliant. And we all know, we can admit as football fans, we do have very short memories, and all it takes is a couple of wins and suddenly you forget about the 12 straight defeats that we had to endure, and painful defeats at that. We've still got quite a while left in the transfer window, so the squad at the moment may look very different in a month's time when the transfer window shuts. I can't see there being too many departures, I must admit. Of course, you've got Dermich, Tribal and Leitner who have been ostracised by the club, so I expect and hope that they find clubs and they're not still on Norwich City's wage bill. I would expect us to sell one of the big players, maybe two, whether that's Godfrey or Cantwell or Aarons or Buendia, I don't know. I don't think we'll sell them all, which is really pleasing because I feared that there may have been a bit of a clear out at the start of the transfer window, and I think although it doesn't sound nice, that COVID has probably helped there because clubs don't have the spending power that they once did, and Norwich City aren't in a position to sell if they don't want to. Terms are very much on our basis, which is really nice because it hasn't been that way in recent seasons. So I thought I'd check in on this Sunday morning. I hope you're all brilliant. Thank you so much for the recent Ko-fi donations, and thank you so much to all of our brand new sponsors for the 2020-2021 season. It's so exciting to be back in the Championship. I love this league. I love this league so much. There's just so many great narratives and drama, and you never quite know what's going to happen, and Norwich City have chances of winning week in, week out, which is always great as well. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed. Hit subscribe. We've got daily content pretty much throughout the season now. We are really, really working hard to create content. I'm really putting in the hours at the moment, so I'd love it for you guys to join us on the Talk Norwich City journey as we approach 20,000 subscribers. Yes, it's been a long while coming, but we're so nearly there. Have a lovely Sunday, whatever you're getting up to, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.